Hello friends, I'm Tiffany and I am back to share my thoughts of the Alabasta Arc of One Piece. Now this is the final arc of the Alabasta Saga. Now let me tell you, this final arc of the Alabasta Saga wasn't as great as I wanted it to be, but it was still an amazing arc. So without further ado, let me just jump into my thoughts. Let me just jump into my experience of this saga. So at first I just want to do a quick little summary of what this arc is about for those of you who need a refresher on the arc. Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates are currently helping Princess Fifi get to her homeland of Alabasta in order to stop the coup that Crocodile, aka Mr. Zero, is currently undertaking. So where we previously left off, we was at Drum Island. We were introduced to Tony Chopper, the cute little Tanuki, the cute little reindeer who is now the newest member to the Straw Hat crew. And at the beginning of this arc, we have finally arrived at our destination of Alabasta. So in Alabasta, as it stands, they're currently going through a drought. They're currently going through a significant period of time where they have no water. And everybody believes this is the king's doing. The king has ordered all the rain. King has left his people to starve because he is selfish and he wants all the wealth and all the water for himself. But that is not the case, because it is in fact Sir Crocodile who is the mastermind of this whole plan, of this drought, and he's doing this for nefarious reasons. However, the people of Alabasta does not believe this, does not think that Crocodile could do this. Crocodile is in fact their hero. Crocodile is the one that has been there on the ground floor, saving them, giving them food, giving them protection. So at this stage of the story, right at the beginning, the people, the citizens of Alabasta think Crocodile is their hero. However, Crocodile is actually Mr. Zero, the lead member, the head man in charge of the organization called Barbecue Works, or Barack Works I believe it's called, and they are an organization of bounty hunters, but they're technically criminals, okay? And they have code names. Like all the men have names like Mr. 1, Mr. 2, Mr. 3, and the females, their partners, they have unique code names like Miss Wednesday, Miss All Sunday, Miss Pebblewinkle. I don't know if that was, no, Miss Golden Meat, that was one of their names. But yeah, so that is the Barbecue Works situation. So throughout this arc, we see from when the Straw Hats arrive, them trying to rally the troops, because there is a rebel army within Alabasta who is gathering to take down the king, because they're blaming the king for the conflict, for the drought. So the people of Alabasta has formed a rebel army. So now the rebel army is going up against the kingdom and the soldiers. Now while all this is going on, we have Princess Fifi who doesn't want her people to fight each other because they're fighting the wrong enemy. And you know, we have shenanigans, we have unique powers, there's birdmen, there are men that fly birds, and we are in this desert setting, and as usual with a One Piece arc, we have the epic battle at the end and everything all comes together. Now don't get me wrong, as I did say, this is a good arc. It was not as great as I wanted it to be, as I put all my thoughts, my anticipation on it to be great. Like the war itself, the fight at the end and how it concluded, that was amazing. But the little battles in between the Straw Hat Pirate and the Barbecue Work agent, they didn't really hit the sweet spot for me, and I'm going to get into that later on in this video. But for now, let's just start off with my overall thoughts and feelings of this arc. So I'm going to get into the cons further on in this video, but for now I want to start off with some of my pros. Now firstly, I do want to mention the introduction of Crocodile and his organization, and his dubious mind was fantastic, was sophisticated, was elegant, okay? And I don't know if elegant is the word I want to use, but that's the word I'm going with. So we was introduced to him as a big baddie back in Whiskey Peak, back in the previous arcs at the beginning of the saga. So we know he's the baddie. We know that he is destroying this country. However, when we are introduced to him in Alabasta, we see him from the point of view of the citizens, and the citizens worship him. And I like that juxtaposition. I like us seeing both sides of the coin, so we can see how Crocodile has manipulated these people to thinking that he is their hero. So although I like that introduction, I do feel like the best introduction we have had so far in this saga, so far in this arc as a whole, has got to be Mr. 2 Bon Clay. Now, when the crew initially meet Bon Clay on the way to Alabasta, it was just a coincidence. It was just something that happened and they're trying to help him out. And the way he shows them his powers, because I forget what Mr. 2's death of fruit is called. I don't know if it's a copy or something like that. But basically, if he touches your face, he can copy your face and he can mimic you, okay? Like shapeshift into you. So when he's on the ship, he smacks them in the face, and he doesn't do it gently. He doesn't do it in a way like, oh, touch. He smacks them like, oh, it was so funny. The way he thumped Luffy in the face, and they thought he was attacking, and then he showed, look at my abilities. I don't know. I didn't know if it was attack. I was with the crew. I didn't know if he was attacking them, if he's friendly. But then they all had a little kiki and a ha-ha. And I was sitting down, eating my popcorn, watching, having a kiki and ha-ha with them. It was great. Mr. 2, Bon Clay's introduction is top tier. Loved it. And it made it all the more sweeter with its introduction because they had such a great friendship and great banter at the beginning. Then Mr. 2 turned into their enemy once they realized he was high up in the barbecue works. I keep saying barbecue. I think it's Barack. I'm just gonna keep saying barbecue. It's who I am. So throughout the whole barbecue works organization, Mr. 2 is like Mr. 2. He's third in command because you got Mr. 1 and then Mr. 0 above him. So the fact that they had such a wholesome meeting at the beginning, then towards the end, right at the end, Mr. 2 actually sacrifices himself so the Straw Hats can get away. It's that I love that full circle moment. I love it. However, with that being said, I know I already told you that I loved Mr. 2's introduction, but I can't talk about new character introductions without mentioning Ace. Now, am I a bit disappointed that this saga did not delve into Luffy's background? That we only got nibblings, we only got a little bit of a taste of who Luffy is as a character, because every other Straw Hat pirate, we got their backstory, we have their information. Now I thought this would be Luffy's turn. However, at the beginning of this arc, at the beginning of the saga, because we got introduced to Princess Fifi, I'm thinking it would be Princess Fifi's turn because she's going to join the crew, obviously, because we're getting all her background. However, when Ace appeared in Alabasta, and I don't think I mentioned this yet, Ace has been hunting Luffy down since we got little trickles of information about him all the way back in East Blue. We're thinking, who is this Ace character? Who left this message for him in Jump Island? Who is this man? Turns out Ace is his big brother. And I was thinking, oh my god, actually no, this is Luffy's story. We're going to get more history on who Luffy is as a character. No, we don't get that. We just get to know that Ace is Luffy's brother. I mean, it was good, but I wanted more. I wanted more history. I'm waiting to get Luffy's history. However, I did appreciate Ace's introduction because he is like Luffy. He is exactly like Luffy. He's stronger. He might have a bit more sense on his head, but his danger sense is non-existent. Like, he's gonna do the reckless thing because he knows he can survive it. Like, how is my man got a devil fruit? Okay, he has the flame fruit, and we all know once you have a devil fruit, you are susceptible to drowning when you fall in the water. Yeah. So he is standing. He uses this little, I don't even know what to call it, a little tiny boat, what he powers with his own fire, like a little skateboard going on the sea. But like, if you drop into the water, you're dead because ain't no one there to save you. Anywho, I do love it. I love it. And I did get excited. I did get excited at the point where Ace tells Luffy, we're gonna meet you again at the summit. Now I'm thinking, what is this summit? Is it the summit of the king? Does that mean that he's gonna meet him at the place where all the kings come together because he wants to be king? But no, because he already told us that he wants his captain, Whitebeard, to be king. There's so many theories going on in my head, and I'm really hesitant to look it up to find out what's going on. But I'm getting a bit excited now because what does he mean by the summit? One little thing that kind of annoyed me about when they finally landed in Alabasta, like Luffy runs off. He runs off because he wants to go find food. Fine, I get it, you hungry. But what he does is when he finds a hut out in the middle of nowhere, and he eats this green powder, and he says it's disgusting, so he decides to burn it. I'm just like, how rude of you. You're gonna go to someone else's country, you're gonna break into someone's house, and just because you ate some green sand which don't even look like food, you decide to burn it. Like, why are you so disrespectful? I couldn't abide by that, and this is why Zorro is my favourite character, and why I feel like he should be the captain, because Luffy is kind of annoying and disrespectful and a brat. Now, he has his moments. Luffy does have his moments, but when he can be annoying, he annoys me to the point where I just don't want to watch him anymore, because that kind of pissed me off. How dare you burn this man's, well, I think he stole it. I think that man, he was criminal in himself because green powder was illegal, but it's not your stuff. You don't even know what it was. It could have been grain to make bread. He didn't know what it was, but he decided to burn it because you ate it and it didn't taste good. It's not meant for food. So that annoyed me. That annoyed me. And I get that's part of Luffy's character. He's meant to be this lovable idiot, but that scene was not lovable. That scene pissed me off. And that brings me to the comparison between Luffy and Ace. Because Ace wants food, he wants to go eat, so he would go eat. He's in this bar, stuffing his face, eating everything what he wants, and then he drops asleep. And everyone thinks he's dead. And they're just worried because they're thinking their food killed him, but he's just sleeping, and that's exactly something like Luffy would do. Now, I have to say, that scene where Smoker comes in, and then Luffy barges in because he smells the food and throws Smoker and Ace through the wall. Okay, I can see why Luffy's funny. I can see why people like him, because that scene was hilarious. Because Luffy don't care about nobody when his belly is in a funk. He needs to get his belly full, then he's at peak capacity. So I understand that, but still, man, please think. Please. I'm hoping further along the way on this journey with the Straw Hat, Luffy gains a little bit more of common sense. Hopefully. We will see. And just my last little bullet point on Ace, because Ace isn't here for a long time. He's just roughly at the beginning before the conflict starts. Now, he actually says he is there for minor business, just a little business he needs to take care of. However, I believe it was in episode 95, his business is not minor. His business is very serious. And another thing about Luffy, where I get it's One Piece. Things don't make sense. I get it. Let it go, Tiffany. It doesn't need to make sense. However, with Luffy's power, he ate the gummy food. He ate the rubber food. So we know that things can bounce off him. But if he gets stabbed or sliced with a sword or whatever, that can't bounce off him. He's going to get cut. So he gets impaled when he has his first battle with Crocodile. He gets impaled by his hook, okay? Right through him. How come you ain't dead? How come you ain't injured? Like, I know when Zorro has his fights, you see him all bandaged up and he's broken, he's trying to heal. You got impaled, bruh. Like, I know you have a devil fruit, but it doesn't give you magical healing abilities. But again, it's One Piece. It's not meant to make sense, so we move on. Stop trying to figure it out and just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Now, before I get further into the arc, I do want to mention a couple of cons that I've had with it. So, these cons, by no means, I didn't like the arc, because I did. I just felt like this is what made this arc good and not great. Okay, you get my drift. It was a good arc. It wasn't a great arc. It wasn't, Arnhem Park, heavy hitting, epic finale arc that I was expecting. Okay, my first one, and this is the one that really brought it down, is that I felt like this arc. Now, I don't know if this is the same for the manga, because I stopped reading the manga. I'm just primarily watching the anime, and I felt like there were too many scenes that this arc lingered on. There were too many instances where I just felt like, are we still on this subject matter? Are we still in this scene? For example, Usopp's fight towards the end. Now, I know what you might be saying, because you already know that me and Usopp do not jive, even though I already mentioned that I feel like I see a lot of myself in Usopp, meaning that Usopp has a sense of danger where he doesn't want to die, and I don't want to die. So we're gonna run away, because sometimes running away is the best option, okay? I get that, so I can respect Usopp on that level. However, his fight scene in this arc was relatively boring, and that was, I don't even remember the woman's name. but she digs holes. She's like a Momo woman, and then you have some bums going on. I can't remember it. It's just out of my brain. It's out of my brain. It was too long. It was too long. I did not care for it. I remembered her name, Merry Christmas. Her name is Miss Merry Christmas. There was nothing Christmassy about her. But I do have to say, even though I did not enjoy this fight scene, it kind of bored me. I do have to say, Yusuf did have a moment in here. Was when Miss Merry Christmas was putting down Luffy's dream, saying that fool would never be the pirate queen. And then Yusuf came back saying something like, I will fight forever and against anybody who tries to put down my French dream. Now, that was a character moment for him, and I loved that for him, and I loved the fact that instead of him running away and trying to take over Luffy's role as a captain, he is starting to respect that man more and more. That was a great character development moment. However, that could have been done in 2 minutes. The whole of the fight that happened, it wasn't for me. It didn't sit right with me. I didn't like it. But the main reason why I think that this fight scene didn't work for me is that I did not like Miss Merry Christmas or Mr. Four's abilities. I did not care for them. It wasn't interesting to me. I didn't care to understand how it worked. And while it's been like a week or so since I finished it, I know I'm filming this late, but I couldn't tell you how it worked because I really can't remember the ins and outs because it was boring to me and their characters annoyed me. So, you know, out of mine, hopefully their characters will not be pivotal to the story later on because I don't like it. No. And the other con for me was the fact that we spent so long with Princess Vivi. We spent so long learning her character, learning her story, learning her background, and I was so sure, like, if I was watching this when it was airing, or I was watching it when it was being published or with somebody and buddy reading it, I would have bet money, 100, 2 grand, easy win. You know, I would have put all my money down, went all in, and betted that Princess Vivi was going to join this crew. I was so sure of it. She doesn't join. I get why she doesn't join. Mad respect for her. I get why she doesn't join. But the fact that you had me believing that she was going to be the next member, and it kind of made sense why she didn't join, because what was her role? What was her role going to be? Everybody on the crew has a role, has a designated area. What could Princess Vivi bring to the crew except for vibes? I should have seen it. But she didn't join the crew. I get it, mad respect. But the person who did, right, and now at this stage, I don't actually know if this person, I'm going to tell you, Miss All Sunday, and she was their enemy. Now, I don't know if she is actually in the crew or just hitching a ride. But if it turns out that she's just hitching a ride and then we get her backstory and she's not a part of the crew, and then you're making me get invested in this character that's going to have no relation on my Straw Hats, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, am I still going to watch it? Yes, of course. But please do not give me another background character, get me invested in another character without giving me Lovey's background. I need to know about my captain. Come on now. That was all. So those are the glaringly obvious cons of this art. They're not major, but it just made it pull down this art from great to just good. You know what I mean? Alright. Now I just want to do a character analysis for a couple of characters, because this arc and this saga as a whole really developed some Straw Hats characters and some of the side characters that we see. We got a lot of character development happening, which I just need to highlight some. First step, because we just spoke about him, I'm just going to mention him here, Usopp. Now, again, Usopp has not been my favourite from his introductory arc and his annoying, like, beg-friendly energy that he's given me. I'm not fighting with him, but I have to respect his action. Now, what he did on Little Garden with the Giants, that elevated his character a little bit more, because I understand where he's coming from. He wants to be brave, he wants to be a fighter, and he wants to come with the same energy that the trio monsters, Luffy, Sanji and so on are bringing. But that's just not who he is as a character, and that's not who he is as a person, and that's okay, Usopp. The only thing that my problem with Usopp is that he is not living in his skin. He wants to be someone else that he's not, but he can never be that person. So just be who you are and be great at that. And I feel like in this arc and in this saga in particular, Usopp is really leaning in to who he is, because he's never going to be a fighter. Well, he's going to be a fighter. I think he has that potential, but he's going to use his brain and not his brawn. He's going to be smart about his tactics. He's going to be smart about how to take down the enemy, and he's not just going to go in there with swords and swings all blazing and use some brute strength. And I really feel like in this arc in particular, watching him doing that boring fight with Miss Wednesday and Mr. Four, he really does use his brain a lot and use the tools at his disposal to win. Let's talk about Sorrow, because Sorrow's my favorite. He is a silent leader, okay? He's the silent assassin. Like Luffy, he's big, he's boisterous, he's in your face. Sorrow was humble, sitting in the corner, but he gives off that energy. Like, you know what? He's like, I'm gonna let Luffy take the spotlight, but just so you know, I'm back here. So me and him, ooh, that energy that he gives off, I can feel it radiates off him. Now, there were little things that Sorrow was doing throughout this arc. I mean, obviously he's fighting, we know he's good with a sword, we know he's skillful, but the little things he did, like for example, when they were in the desert, and poor Chopper, he was, because he's all fur, baby. He's an animal. He's got all fur, so he's got layers on top of layers on top of his fat. So he's dying, and he can't go on. He's sweating, and everybody in the crew, they're dripping with sweat. They're exhausted. But Sorrow, he's suffering the same way. He makes a little man-made sled for Chopper, and he starts dragging him. No one else in the crew decided to do that, but Sorrow did that. Sorrow did that because he is a leader, okay? Love that for me, love that for him. And let me tell you what elevated Sorrow to me in this arc. Because although it was Luffy's order, it was when they were in the prison, in the casino, and Smoker was there, and both Smoker's a devil fruit user, and everyone's starting to sing. All the water's rushing in, they're gonna go sing, and they're trying to escape. So Luffy gets saved, they're escaping, and Luffy turns to Sorrow and says, "Get Smoker," without hesitation. Sorrow grabs him and saves him. Because at this stage, you're thinking, why are we gonna save the Navy officer that's hunting us down? Again, I know I'm kind of contradicting myself here because it was Luffy's order. So, you know, could we really put this benefit on Sorrow? But the fact that he did it was Sorrow's actions. I don't care, I love him. I'm still gonna give him the praise for it. And also that fight scene with him and Mr. One. Because let me tell you about Mr. One. Mr. One is made out of steel, so his whole body can turn into razor sharp blade. Now this, I think, is one of the best matchups that could have happened, because Sorrow, he's a sword man, Mr. One is a steel man. What better matchup could you have? Let me tell you something though. Sorrow's been training. I don't see anybody on this crew train how to fight, but Sorrow's always there swinging his sword, doing his weightlifting. He's been training to fight, and he wants to cut steel. What better opponent can he have in order to cut steel? And then when he's fighting with Mr. One, he said he can sense the stones falling, and that's how he knew where Mr. One would go, because he can't see him go, Mr. One's so far, but he senses the stones falling and can slice him. Like, what power does he have? What sixth sense does he have? Oh, I feel like there's an underlying power apart from the devil fruits. I feel like there is something else within One Piece that we have yet to scratch the surface of, because someone doesn't have a devil fruit, but he has a kind of power. He has a magical ability. So I can't wait for that to be revealed. Okay, let's move away from the Straw Hats for a bit. I do want to mention a pivotal character in this arc, which is Kaizo, and he is the rebel leader. Now his background is linked up with Princess Vivi, so we only get to see him briefly, his background story, and we are introduced to his character only in this arc. My issue with this is that so much time, so much energy was spent on learning who Kaizo is, learning his relationship for Vivi, learning why he's angry at the king, and it's all justified, don't get me wrong, that back history was clear, it made sense. However, when the pivotal battle came where he was meant to be fighting against the soldiers, you know, he was leading his rebel army, we didn't get to see him in action enough. We didn't get to see him fighting, leading the charge. It was very anticlimactic for me. Now I get this story, and I think I get what happened. Like, we're doing it for the plot. It made sense for him to get injured and to take a backseat burner. But I felt like everything was built up for this climactic battle between the rebels and the soldiers. And for me, for my history, watching a lot of fantasy and watching a lot of epic battles, I just wanted to see more of Kaizo. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but I just wanted to see more of him leading the charge, leading that battle. And so it was very anticlimactic for me. That's another con. I should put that in the con section. But again, it's my video. I can pull it where I want. Smoker does make an appearance in this arc, and I find it very entertaining that he has followed Luffy and the crew from Logtown all the way to this section. Now, I have come to the conclusion that the Navy is not all it seems. The Navy is not full of good people, not full of honorary people trying to do the right things for the majority. No, that is not what the Navy is in One Piece. However, Smoko lives by his own morals and his own code of conduct. Because if you didn't know, if I haven't mentioned it before, Crocodile, Mr. Zero, is actually endorsed by the royal government. Royal government? No, by the world government, by the Navy. He is a pirate, but there are something called the Shishibai, 7 warlords. I don't know how to say it. I think it's the 7 warlords. They have 7 pirates that have been given immunity, have given like pardons from the world government to go about their business. But whenever they need to handle a situation, they can call them out and be like, look, I need you to go here, settle down these rowdy people, and then you can get on with your lives. So in this respect, Smoker and Crocodile should be on the same side. However, Smoker has come to see what Crocodile has been doing in this country, and he realizes that the world government is not going to try and stop him, and the only people that are trying to stop him and help the situation are the pirates that he is actually hunting down. Now, if Smoko was really a government boy, if he was a good Navy soldier, he would have helped Crocodile. But no, he does not. He just puts his hat down. He's just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not even going to stop Luffy, who he should stop. I'm going to let him do his thing and save this country. I kind of love that. I like that for him. And I like the fact that Smoker follows his own compass, his own moral compass, that he believes in justice and he does the right thing. So it makes me have faith that, again, reflecting on our society, that there are people in law enforcement that do the right thing, and not everybody is corrupt, okay? And that leads me into Smoker's second in command. I believe her name is Tashigi, I forget, I don't know how to say it, because she has a moment where she can capture the Straw Hat, she can capture Luffy, but she can't, but she doesn't because she knows what is going on in this country and knows that Luffy is there trying to stop Crocodile, and she's crying. Now I can feel her heartbreak and her emotion because she is torn. She's struggling between doing the wrong thing for the right reasons or doing the right thing for the wrong reason. Because the wrong thing was to let Luffy go, because her role, because she's a Navy officer, she's there to capture the Straw Hat Pirate. The right thing for her to do would be to capture them. But she can see that they are trying to stop this country falling into disaster, just like Smoker. So instead of her ordering her men to capture the Straw Hat Pirate, she lets them go. She sees them all broken and exhausted from fighting and says, you know what, walk away. We got to help out the people then. And then you see her crying right at the end when she's walking past Smoker, because she's still struggling with the choices that she made. She still doesn't understand, like, did she do the right thing? Yes, girl, yes. There's always tomorrow. You can go and capture the Straw Hats tomorrow. But for today, let them be. Oh, I love those two. I need to see more of them. Hopefully this is an ongoing gag throughout One Piece, where Smoker and Tashigi are always chasing them, kind of helping them, but then letting them go. Then okay, all right, then we're gonna get you at another island. You know? Oh, that was a moment for me. That was a good moment. Talking about moments, following on from, I believe in Little Garden, Sanji got introduced to us as Mr. Prince. In this one, Sanji reprises his role as Mr. Prince. Oh, he's so suave with it. When he's walking through the casino and everyone's running outside and he's tricked them to go and save Luffy and the crew that's locked in a basement. Now, I believe I did mention it earlier, but I do want to mention Robin. She is Miss All Sunday, and I feel like I have to talk about her because she joined the crew, and I still don't know why. I still don't know where we're going with this. I just don't know. And the fact is, I feel like this is making me want to go back and rewatch it, even though I didn't like it as much, because I feel like I didn't pay enough attention to Robin in the show. But I'm just like, who is she? We're not going to see her. We're not going to continue on with her. So her character is not that important for me to retain her information. But the fact that she has joined the crew now, I feel like I need to go back and like pick up things I might have missed. You know, pick up little nuances, interactions she's had with them. Because I'm thinking she saved Luffy when he did that first fight with Crocodile. She saved him. I didn't understand why. I did not understand why. And then she betrayed Crocodile when they was at the Poneglyph reading that ancient text. I still didn't grasp that understanding, but I feel like that will be revealed to us later as the series goes on. But again, this arc was not about that for me. It was about the major fight scene that's happening with the rebels. But the fact that Nico Robin has joined the crew, I feel like I want to go back and watch the scenes that she's in to see if I can pick up something, to theorize about her, because right now I have nothing. Now I just want to discuss some of my highlights, my key moments from this arc. Now there are lots of moments that I found were fantastic, and I have mentioned them throughout this video. One of them being Ace's introduction, his connection to Luffy, them talking about the summit, okay, about Tashigi and Smoker letting the Straw Hats go, oh heartbreaking. About Bon Clay, I can't even say it without tearing up. Bon Clay sacrificing himself right at the end so the Straw Hats can get away, even though they were enemies, even though they fought together. That was a moment, but I can't put them all together. I always like doing my top 3 moments. So let's get into my top 3. Now, number 1, I don't think they're in any order. These are just my top 3. But the first moment I want to discuss with you has got to be Vivi at the top of that clock tower, screaming at everybody to stop fighting. God damn, that was so emotional. That was so good. Okay, so let me give you some context in case you need a refresher. Okay, so the rebel soldiers, they're fighting each other, they're killing each other, they're going at it. And it has been revealed that Crocodile is behind it to those in charge, the higher up. So we already had some of the higher up soldiers use their magical ability to get extra strength to fight Crocodile, but by doing so, they've killed themselves. They've used up their life force, and that was a bit heartbreaking to watch. I didn't need to see that, but okay, that's sad. So they basically stopped Crocodile at that when he's in the palace from taking over. But then Crocodile says, you know what, even if you stop me here, it doesn't matter, because he has a contingency plan. He has hidden a bomb somewhere in the city. So now everybody's running about. The Straw Hat Pirates are running, trying to find this bomb. They're going up and down, they can't find it. Sanji's there kicking holes in walls to get through the city. This is when Tashigi lets the Straw Hat Pirates go, says leave them and let us go for help find the bomb. We're not chasing them anymore, because they know that the Straw Hat Pirates are not the enemy. They need to save the people of Alabasta. And at this point, at this time, Vivi realizes that when she was a child, she had a secret clubhouse at the top of the clock tower that's big enough to hide a bomb. So now it's a race to get to the top of the clock tower, but the bomb is going to go on. Time is ticking down. So they make her they can't get up, they can't run up the stairs to the clock tower in time. They won't make it. But it's the Straw Hat Pirates, baby. They have a plan. So at this time, Zoro, I think because he's bad at this, Zoro's bad at direction. Like, why is he at the top of the clock tower? Nobody knows. But he's near the top of it. Sanji is halfway, and then the rest of the crew minus Luffy. Luffy's out there fighting Crocodile. They're at the bottom. So now Tony Chopper does his point and they kick them up. Kick up. Sora's got his swords out and he flies them up. I don't know if I'm making sense, but basically they're getting Vivi and they're literally throwing her, kicking her up in the air, get to the top of the clock tower, and she makes it. She makes it to the top. At this stage, she's screaming down at them, telling them to stop fighting, but she's so high up that no one on the ground can hear her, and it's just screams and they're killing, and you can see the people dying. But Vivi's just screaming, stop fighting, and then Nami's at the bottom and my heart is being torn apart. Same with Nami. Nami's at the bottom and she gets Zoro, she gets Sanji, she gets all of them and punches them and pushes them aside. Help them, break them up, make them stop fighting. But nobody wants to listen to nobody because all they care about is killing each other. But they're killing each other for the wrong reason and no one's listening to their princess. And then here comes Pell. Now, I did mention him before, but Pell is one of the guardians, and he can turn into a bird. There's two of them, but here comes Pell. And he takes the bomb because he turns into a falcon. He turns into a big bird and he takes the bomb and he flies up into the sky. Oh, tear it up, it was such a good scene. And he takes the bomb, he flies up to the sky and you can hear Vivi, she's screaming, stop fighting down to the people. Then you hear the people dying and doing the nice clashes and they're killing, and the Pell has the bomb flying up in the sky and he says, I'm the Falcon of Alabasta. And then it goes boom. Then the bomb goes off. The bomb goes off. And when the bomb goes off, it clears the skies, it clears everything, and the rain starts coming down because it hasn't rained. Remember, Alabasta's in a drought, and then the rain comes down, and they finally, Vivi's voice, their princess's voice, can be heard from the top of the clock tower, and she's still screaming, her throat going raw. Stop fighting! And they finally hear her. Oh God, I'm gonna lie, that whole scene, that whole energy, excellent, well done, Oda. That got me, that was emotional. Okay, so my next moment of the Alabasta arc, I think I have mentioned before, is when Zoro learns to cut still. Now I love this moment because it linked back to the Little Garden arc, and in fact to Zoro as a character himself, because in Little Garden he actually says he wants to learn how to cut still. He actually says it, and the fact that he, from Little Garden to now, he has learned how to cut still, that is well done. Yes, you did it, my boy. You did it. You are winning at life. So my last moment, which I thought was fantastic, was Sanji. With Sanji as Mr. Prince. Sanji using his cunning brain to save them, and then he's there beating up these big crocodile looking people trying to find the key. I was at the edge of my seat because I didn't know which way it was gonna go. Okay, I didn't know if they was gonna get out. I didn't know how they was gonna get rescued. But Sanji pulled it off. I was here for it. I was in it. Fantastic. So guys, that is it for the Alabasta arc and for the Alabasta saga. We have finally completed our second saga of One Piece. And let me tell you, it has been emotional, okay? I am invested. I'm here for it. I am eager to know what happens next. Now, I do have a couple thoughts, theories, and predictions. But again, I don't want to say them just yet because what I thought was going to happen in this saga with the whole Luffy backstory, we didn't get. So I just want to sit back and just enjoy it for the ride until I get more information. I'm thinking probably the next arc, the next saga, we're probably going to focus on Nico Robin, or like, why is she there? Why is she with you? Anywho, I'm here for it. What I would say that this arc is, this battle, the final battle of Alabasta is, it is the definition of you may have lost the battle, but you won the war. Because Luffy lost so many times in this arc, but he won in the end. Okay? So, if you guys want to continue following me as I discover this wonderful world and want to continue on my journey watching One Piece, please remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the next arc we will be discussing is the Skypiea arc. So I'll be back with my thoughts and my reaction to that arc soon.